Hey guys, namaste. So I just wanted to touch on a couple things that have been going on with me, and then also just some other things as well in terms of recovery, because something that I've been dealing with or trying to understand, and this is something that's kind of been common in my recovery. Anybody that I've not everybody, but there's a select couple people that I've reintroduced myself to basically in recovery, because they're also in recovery. And generally, the funny thing is, people that I'm talking about, or I guess in the recovery world, a few steps behind me, but really only in just time. And these people generally have been doing recovery for a certain amount of time, but I guess this is the time around that it's really stuck. But they're only maybe a couple months behind me, and I'm sensing almost animosity. And there's one person that there's definitely a reason. I feel like it has to be specifically, I wronged her. She has every reason to have resentment. I confronted her about it. She told me she's fine. But she's also told me that she's not really feeling anything. So I'm wondering if that's it, because there's just been certain situations that I thought that I could come to her about, and she's completely reinterpreted it wrong, and then suggested certain things that had nothing to do with the initial thing that I came to her for. So she was kind of telling me what I should do towards something, and I kind of was oh, well, maybe, I just sensed this type of jealousy, and I was oh, I don't know. And I understand jealousy, but when it comes to recovery, every day is a challenge. Every day brings something new. I had this huge thing that I thought my year was going to be this awakening, and I was going to be recovered, and as a gentleman used before, that I was going to get my recovery diploma, and it was out the door for me. But that's not the case. I've been introduced to certain situations, and I'm noticing that it's my feelings that really get me to want to drink more than anything. I had a couple weeks ago somebody that I made an amends to who didn't take it very well. Not that they didn't take it very well, they just didn't respond to me, and I had an inkling that was going to happen. But then, probably, I want to say a week later, her family came in. I had to serve her family. And I immediately was oh, I just want to chug a gallon of vodka. I just need to drink. And I realized, because I wanted to do everything and anything just to get out of my body, to get out of that experience. And, that was an awakening in itself, just for me to be all right, this is what it is. And I think a huge thing for me is that no matter what, I've changed, I've made changes, but people are always just going to view you a certain way, and that's okay. There's certain people in my life that could change to a complete opposite person. I'm still going to question it, and I'm still going to view them a certain way. That's just how it is. And I understand that that's part of the stigma when it comes to recovery. But back to, I got off topic, I apologize, about the jealousy thing. Because I basically just distanced myself, because my competition is with no one. My competition isn't with the old timers who have 40 years, although I hope that one day I can get there. My competition is with myself, and that is the biggest thing. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be better than I was a year ago. It's myself. I don't compete with, I want to be better than the person who's sober today, who just got sober today. I want to be better than for myself. It has nothing to do with time. Because specifically, I could have a year, but it took me every day for me to get that year. So it's going to take me tomorrow to get to that next day. It's going to take me today to get to tomorrow. That kind of understanding. And it's that, for me, that's gotten me to where I am. But it's that inner work that really means something for me. You can abstain, but that doesn't mean that you're completely null and void of, or being in recovery. And that's something that I've had to realize, that, this is actually going to take inner work for myself. And I'm proud of myself. I've been able to get to certain places and forgive certain people that I never in a million years thought that I'd be able to forgive or even be close to forgive. And right now in my journey, the biggest issue for me is forgiving myself. It's bringing up a lot of emotions for myself, and like I just started writing a list of things that I hate for myself, and it's a page in. And I'm like, holy crap, like just how much you don't like consciously are aware of all that stuff that you say to yourself. Like I'll be like, oh, because you're an idiot, Sarah, and I like have to remind myself not to talk to myself like that, because intelligence is a big thing in my life that bothers me, and I'm always wondering like if I'm intelligent. And as long as I continue to, it's whatever I think, that's important. And on that topic, I wanted to bring up narcissism, because I hear so many people bringing up like, oh, well, I dated a narcissist, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like people are throwing around this term, narcissism, and not really understanding what it is, because it is a mental disorder. It is a disorder where this person like literally sees no fault of their own, and it's just like very one-sided. That I guess it would almost be like someone in a manic disorder, but like always at a high. And I'm just saying that that's how I view it. That's my perspective. I don't really know. I'm not a narcissist. I don't know. But I feel like people are saying it because there's so many people who just can't admit that they're wrong. And I'm sure that there's certain things in my life that I haven't been able to admit that I'm wrong to, as well as the next person. But I think a lot of times it's hard for a lot of us to admit that we're wrong. But that doesn't make somebody a narcissist, and that's something that I want to bring attention to, because a narcissist has zero like remorse or sorrow or guilt for anything that they do. They kind of do it because that's what they have, like in their mind, that's what they have to do. And I truthfully, in my lifetime, and I've come across a lot of people from just doing hair and bartending and serving, I think I've really only met one true narcissist in my life. Because I'd even like to say that like maybe my foster family is like, maybe she's a narcissist. But truthfully, you don't just like not speak to somebody unless you don't feel some type of wrong towards it. And that's just like my view. Like I feel like so many people are just throwing around this word to make themselves feel more comfortable, because other people are having a harder time accepting that somebody else can accept their faults. And that's hard for me too. I get really frustrated and annoyed because I feel like I'm constantly admitting when I'm wrong, and some other people aren't. But you know what? That's not my life. That's not my skin. That's not for me to live in. And I just know for myself personally, the only reason why I feel like I need to admit everything and bring it all to the surface is that I've been dealing with some closeted skeletons for a very long time, and I've been suppressing them and ignoring that feeling. And that's ultimately another thing that led me to drinking and trying to like pretend or that I'm someone that I didn't want to be, I guess, ultimately. And not that these situations or these skeletons even made me who I am, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a part of my story, and that's all. But that's really all that I wanted to talk about today. And, if any of you guys have any thoughts or input on jealousy or your view on narcissism and things like that, I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say, especially with how you deal with somebody who you feel like has a little bit of a jealousy issue towards you, because I'm not really sure how to handle it, because there's one person that I would like to think that we could be friends, but I don't think that she's ready for it. I think she does have some resentments towards me, and I understand that. So, but other than that, that's really all that I have to share today. So I just wanted to reach out to you guys, and please like, subscribe, and share. And namaste sober, and I hope you do too.